an amazing night. And I can't believe that my congressman came to be here with me. That means so much. And I know Mama and Daddy would appreciate that you were here.
We love you.
So I know that there is a over-under on which one of us is going to have the longest speech, me or John. But I'm going to try, I promise I'm going to try to do pretty good by you. But first, I have to thank you all my babies, my partners in crime, and those that I have committed crimes against. You know who you are. I want to thank my family for being here with me tonight. My husband, TC, my boys, Tommy and William, my niece, Simona, my sister, Mona. I'm going to tell another story. I'm going to start out like John, but I'm going to share a different outcome when things aren't as they should be. My niece, I want you to stand up, Simone, stand up. My boys, I want y'all to stand up. My niece, Simona, is a fifth-generation college-educated woman. Fifth-generation college-educated woman, but she's Black and she's female. And so the economic opportunity, the wealth generation that should have befallen a woman that has been a fifth-generation educated person is not there. We have enough wealth to keep ourselves in the middle class, barely, barely, barely. We're homeowners and landowners, and we've done that for 5 generations. But we have no wealth. We have enough wealth to transfer, to stay where we are, but not to advance. And yet, in 1 generation, a life can change. But in 5 generations, we just tread in water. Equity and equality are not evenly distributed. There's a commercial, and it says that talent is evenly distributed, but not what? Opportunity. Now, I am a privileged woman, but I'm poor. I am privileged, but I am poor. And I am grateful. I want to say this to the whole world. I am grateful for the opportunities that NCRC and John Taylor have afforded me. I was a self-employed person who was stricken with cancer. There was no Obamacare at the moment. I am grateful for the union job my husband has and the union medical benefits that he provides. Unions matter. But John Taylor called me up. I was laying in my sick bed, literally in my sick bed. And John calls me up and he says, Stella, I need you to come run my civil rights organization. I said, John, you know I got cancer, right? And he goes, yeah, but you're going to get better, right? And I said, yeah. He said, well, I said, well, I got to check with my doctor. He said, okay. So I talked to my doctor. He said, well, you can't go for 3 months. I said, well, John, can't be there for 3 months. I got to go through this treatment. I got to finish getting in remission. He was like, okay, we'll wait for you. Next day, he had sealed the deal. Stella Adams will be here in 3 months. I couldn't back out. I had to get better. I had to go to work. But that's a friend, that's a man who will be there for you, because he was there to make sure I had a steady paycheck. That I had an opportunity to live and maintain the middle-class lifestyle that I was accustomed to, because y'all know I can't really do poor real good. Not poor, sick, and old. I am grateful to NCRC. Irv Henderson. I was thinking about playing this thing, and at the beginning of everything, there was Irv. I hadn't even realized it. When I started the North Carolina Fair Housing Center, who was my first board chair? When I got to the first contract to do some work with National Neighbors, a subsidiary of NCRC, to go around and work with NAACPs all over the nation. Who got me that contract? Irv, you like the man. I have at my table my ride or die friends. Peter Skilling, that man has rode with me, and when I say rode, I mean we have ridden literally thousands and thousands of miles taken on the banks. Financial freedom tours. We even went to the FDIC. I love that basketball game we had. Predatory lending. We even had a cult following one time inside the Federal Reserve. Peter has been, when I was on my hunger strike, Peter would check on me every day. He was like, how you holding up? You doing all right? Him and TC, monitoring and watching me. My girl Kenya Myers, one of the best housing counselor trainers in the country, one of the leading anti-predatory lending experts. And she was an expert because she was a predatory lender. She walked in the office to give a resume to Peter to work in Peter's shop. And Peter wasn't there, and our offices were right next door. I said, well, I'll give him this resume. Not only was she a very good predatory lender, but she trained other predatory lenders to be a predatory lender. And so I hired her to train me to fight predatory lenders, and she's been putting them out of business ever since. Oh, my girl, Lori Jones Gibbs. I'm going to call all y'all out while I call you out. There are a number of women in this room wearing red. I know you're double dipping. Now, the rest of y'all don't know what's going on, but they know what I'm talking about. My girl, Lori Jones Gibbs, is one of the reasons that that when you're committed, you got to understand all bankers, you got to have bankers on the inside. You got to have folks on the inside of the institution to change it. It's an inside-outside force. My sister, my friend, she gave me opportunities to prove that I was right and to help move our industry, the people and neighborhoods we care about forward. There are some institutions in this room, I'm not going to call y'all out, that I used to put evil in front of your first name. Y'all know who you are, because I called you that in the past. But I have learned and I have seen you transform into institutions that are serving our communities. And it's good for your business, and it's good for our communities. That's what we are striving for. Every one of us in this room is in here because we're committed to communities. We're committed to the struggle to bring the American dream to everyone. But when we talk about the American dream, what is it we're really talking about? It's what John was saying earlier, but I want to frame it because this is my last chance to be up here and show style and profile. And so I'm going to define it for you. James Truslow Adams, he's no relation, but we claim him, defined the American dream as that dream of a land in which life should be better and richer and fuller for everyone, with opportunity for each according to ability and achievement. It is a difficult, now listen to this part, this is important. It is a difficult dream for the European upper classes to interpret adequately. And all too many of us ourselves have grown weary and mistrustful of it. That's where we are today. It is not a dream of motor cars and high wages merely, but a dream of a social order in which each man and each woman, 1930, he said, each woman shall be able to attain to the fullest stature of which they are innately capable and be recognized by others for what they are, regardless of the fortuitous circumstances of birth or position. Isn't that what we've been talking about all day? So that when you say from now on that you are fighting for the American dream, understand that you are fighting for each man and each woman to be able to attain to the fullest stature and be recognized. And be recognized. I don't believe that I should not matter, that I can't say Black Lives Matter in order for the poor, lower class white person to matter. We all need to be recognized. We all matter. But I'm not gonna unmatter me. To make you comfortable. I'm not gonna subsume the yellow, bright sunshine of me to make you comfortable. We have to recognize who we are without regard for the fortuitous circumstances of birth or position. My niece should have the opportunities to build wealth and every opportunity, access to every door that her abilities have brought her. Every day we fight against injustice, inequality, racism, sexism, all the isms, and we lose sight of what we're fighting for. We are so busy fighting to preserve and protect past gains, and let's be clear, all our gains are at risk. That we fail to plan for this future where we live out the American dream. That's what we're striving for. Oh, my babies. How do we plan and prepare for this future? First, we must preserve and protect our past. We must protect CRA, and the best way to do that is to use it. There are over 4,000 financial institutions with CRA obligations, and less than 1% of them have ever had a community group comment on their performance to the FDIC. Well, I'm going to ask you to do this for me. If you live in a city that has a consolidated plan, an analysis of impediments, or an affirmative fair housing plan, take a copy, highlight the areas where the local lender could make a difference, and place a copy of the plan in their file, along with your recommendations on how they could increase loans to low and moderate income borrowers, minority businesses, community development loans, participate in public-private partnerships, sponsor homebuyer programs, and put it in their CRA file and copy it to their regulator. Ask for a meeting with the local CRA officer and share your programs with them. All of these banks have an obligation to meet what? Community needs. Y'all got to do better than this. I'm trying to get off of this stage. Y'all going to make me stay here. But if nobody asks, they sponsor local high school athletics, and they pay for, put an ad in your banquet. I promise you, if you'll just take these 2 action steps, it'll make a difference in your community. Might not move mountains, but it'll move, preserve, and protect CRA. Second, protect, defend, and advance civil rights laws. Protect the existing civil rights laws by studying the law, reading the regulations, and finding the fresh snow. The law is made in the gray. If it's cut black and white, we know the answers, but the law's in the gray. Don't let others define our rights for us. We need to take risks and advance our own agenda. As the various departments within this administration are utilizing regulatory agenda to reinterpret various theories under civil rights laws, I need you to defend the disparate impact theory. We need to vigorously comment on any new interpretations, and we need to take every Title VI interpretation that may get passed. We need to fight it. And finally, well, it ain't finally, but you know. And we need to advance voting rights. Access to the ballot is how we protect our democracy. It's how we move our country toward a more perfect union. It is through the ballot that we make true change. More importantly, vote in every election, every time. Every election win? Every election win? And if you don't like what's going on locally, run for office. What do you got to lose? Finally, I need you to fight for your future. Fight for equity. Equity is defined as giving each person what they need to succeed. What they need to succeed. It's not equal playing field. We ain't equal. Y'all been, look at the maps. Listen to the stories that John told, that Jesse told earlier today. We're not starting at the same starting line. So equality now, saying, oh, you got to meet the same standard now when you put me behind. We run a mile race and you get a 3/4 of a mile head start. How am I supposed to catch up even if I'm fast? Equity is giving each person what they need to succeed. We need to change the paradigm about how we fight for economic and social justice. We need to give each community what they need to succeed. We need to find what low and moderate income white families need to succeed. And we need to start not being so crazy. Do you know that there was just a simple term that could have fixed minimum wage back in 1968? It's called indexing. Why don't we make sure that we index things so as inflation and things change, it changes, so we don't have to go back and deal with draconian rules that your employer can do all kinds of credit checks on you because you make $25,000. When in 1968, $25,000 was a lot of money. But today, you can't even buy a burger with that. Indexing, just one word, sneak it in between two commas. In a 1,000-page bill, you sneak in the word index and we're good. We get the minimum wage increased and we put in the word indexed to the GDP or some other index. Fight for your neighbors. And fight for those, I'm retired now. Thank you for the lovely retirement watch. And so I've been taking on some other issues. The other issue I took on is the refugees and the asylees and the dreamers trying to maintain and stay in this country. These women are forced, this is a forced migration. This is not intentional. We need to fight for these families. It's not okay. It's a cage. Those children are in cages. We need to fight for their humanity. We need to fight for their dignity. We need to fight for these children. We need to pay attention to that American dream. And finally, we need to fight for justice. And John, I mean justice, not just us. We need to fight for justice. In the Hebrew tradition, they say, justice, justice shalt thou pursue. The Bible says, what does the Lord require of you? But that you do justice, love mercy, and humbly walk before your God. Do justice is an action word. I need you all to act. I love you so much. Being part of NCRC has been one of the greatest things of my life. The people and friends I have in this room, I have built over a lifetime. Jean Ishman, Bethany, Ernie, all y'all. my babies, my last set of babies. Do justice. Pursue justice.
Very much.
Deliver the American dream. Thank you. Thank you.